Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone.
What if your silence, the very thing you were afraid to use, turned out to be the most powerful thing you have ever done? You spent years wondering if you were the problem. Years asking yourself, am I too sensitive? Am I expecting too much? Maybe if I just explain myself more clearly, maybe if I just try harder. And every time you opened your mouth, every time you gave them another chance, another explanation, another piece of your heart, it was used against you. So you finally went quiet. And something strange started happening. If you are watching this today, I want you to know you did not go silent because you gave up. You went silent because something deep and wise inside you had finally had enough. And that wisdom. It is the most important thing we are going to talk about today. I want to speak directly to you. The woman who is somewhere between 55 and 75 years old, who has lived a whole life, loved deeply, worked hard, raised people, built things, lost things, and who is now sitting with a question that feels almost too painful to say out loud. How'd I spend so many years loving someone who made me feel so small? You are not naive. You are not weak. You are a woman with decades of experience, of resilience, of knowing how to hold things together. And that is actually part of what made this so confusing. Because you were strong enough to keep trying. You were wise enough to see the good in people. You were patient enough to wait for things to change. But here is what I know about women like you. You do not go silent without a reason. That silence is not defeat. It is a turning point. And what happens on the other side of that silence is something every woman in your position needs to understand. Because the person you walked away from is not just going to accept it quietly. Let's talk about exactly what they do. And more importantly, let's talk about why, so that none of it can surprise you or pull you back in. The first thing that happens when you go silent is that they turn back into the person you fell in love with. Suddenly, the flowers are back. The messages are sweet. The apologies are deep and they sound real. They remember your favorite restaurant. They call you by the nickname they used when everything was good between you. And your heart, your beautiful, loyal heart, it responds because it remembers. Here is the psychology behind this, and it is important that you hear it clearly. This behavior has a name. It is called intermittent reinforcement, and it is the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. A slot machine does not pay out every time. It pays out just enough, randomly, unpredictably, to keep you pulling the lever. When a narcissist senses they are losing control, and your silence is the loudest signal of that, they reach for the one tool that has always worked on you: kindness. Not because they have changed, but because they need you back. They need the supply, the attention, the access, the control. And you, with your deep capacity for love, are their most reliable source. Think of it this way. Imagine a woman named Margaret. She is 68. She went no contact with her son-in-law after years of manipulation. Within 3 days, he sent her a letter. Handwritten, tearful, full of the exact words she had always needed to hear. She told me later, it was the most loving thing he had ever written. And that's when I knew something was very wrong. She was right. Love that only appears when you try to leave is not love. It is a strategy. When the kindness does not bring you back, they move to the next tool in their kit. They start talking. To your family, to mutual friends, to your neighbors, your adult children, your church community, and the story they tell. You have become the villain. You are cruel. You are unstable. You are going through something. You have changed. You abandon them without reason. Psychologists call this a smear campaign. And it is one of the most disorienting experiences a person can go through, because you suddenly find yourself defending your own character to people who know you, to people who should know better. But here is the deeper truth about why this happens. A narcissist's identity is built on a very fragile foundation. They cannot tolerate the idea that the story of the relationship, the official story, shows them as someone who was unkind, controlling, or abusive. So they have to change the story before it gets out. They have to get there first. Your silence to them is an accusation, and they will spend enormous energy making sure no one believes it. The painful irony is that the very act of defending yourself can sometimes make you look worse, because narcissists are often very good at performing calm and reason, especially in public, and you, raw, hurt, and exhausted, may come across as emotional, which they will use against you. So here is what I want you to consider. You do not owe anyone your pain as proof. The people who truly know you will not need a press release to believe in your character. And the people who believe the story, they were never truly in your corner to begin with. When the love bombing doesn't work, and the smear campaign doesn't work, the mask begins to slip. And what comes out from underneath it can feel frightening. They might show up uninvited. They might send message after message after message. They might call the people closest to you. They might make threats, legal threats, emotional threats, threats about the grandchildren, or the house, or shared finances. They might show up in ways that feel like harassment, but are hard to name that clearly. Psychologically, what is happening here is what researchers call narcissistic injury. When a narcissist loses their source of control, meaning you, it is not just inconvenient for them. It is a genuine psychological wound. Their sense of self depends on having power over others. And your silence is stripping that power away. The escalation is not a sign that you matter to them in the way love is supposed to work. It is a sign that they are desperate. And desperation in a narcissist can look a lot like intensity, which can feel like passion, which your heart might confuse with love. This is a critical distinction. Obsession is not devotion. Pursuit is not proof of love. A man who only fights for you when you are leaving him was never truly present when you were staying. During this phase, the most important thing you can do is hold the boundary without negotiation. Because every small exception you make, every reply to a late night message, every time you pick up the phone, just this once, resets their internal clock. They learn that if they push hard enough, long enough, you will come back. And they will test that theory every single time. This is the one that breaks the most hearts, because it involves the people you would do anything for. They go to your adult children. They go to your siblings. They go to your oldest friends. And they say just enough, just the right words, in just the right tone, to send those people back to you with a message. Why don't you just talk to them? Life is short. Maybe you are being too hard on this. And suddenly, the people you were leaning on for support are now, without knowing it, doing the narcissist's work for them. This is called triangulation. It is the practice of pulling a third person into a conflict to destabilize you, to make you feel outnumbered, unreasonable, or isolated. And it is extraordinarily effective on women like you because you care so deeply about harmony. You were probably the family peacemaker for decades. The thought of your children being caught in the middle is nearly unbearable. Let me offer you a metaphor. Imagine you are a lighthouse. The storm outside cannot hurt you as long as you stay anchored to your foundation. But if people start rowing out to the lighthouse in little boats, each one carrying a message from the storm, asking you to come back to the water, eventually, even a lighthouse can feel alone and second-guessed. You do not have to turn the boats away with cruelty, but you do have the right to say clearly and lovingly, "This is my decision. I need you to support me in it, not carry messages on their behalf." And the people who truly love you, they will understand, eventually. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. And then, at some point, sometimes quickly, sometimes after a long battle, they go quiet too. They find someone else. A new friend, a new partner, a new family member to orbit around. Someone who does not know the history yet. Someone who still gives freely. And this moment, which should feel like relief, is often one of the most painful moments in the whole story. Because even when you knew the relationship was wrong, even when you were the one who chose to go silent, watching them move on so quickly feels like confirmation of your worst fear, that you were never that special to them, that you were replaceable, that maybe you were the problem. I want to speak directly to that fear, because it is a lie dressed up as a revelation. The fact that a narcissist can replace you quickly is not evidence of your worthlessness. It is evidence of their pattern. They did not replace you because you were easy to forget. They replaced you because they cannot exist without a source of supply, without someone to orbit around them, validate them, absorb their moods. You were not chosen because you were ordinary. You were targeted because you were warm, capable, and giving. Their next chapter is not proof that you lost. It is proof that the cycle is continuing, and you are no longer part of it. That is not a loss. That is a liberation. I want to close today by saying something I hope you will carry with you long after this video ends. You did not arrive at silence easily. It took years. Years of trying, years of hoping, years of swallowing your own feelings to keep the peace. And when you finally went quiet, really quiet, it was not giving up. It was growing up. It was your soul saying, I deserve more than this. I have more to give to people who can actually receive it. The things a narcissist does when you go silent, the love bombing, the smear campaign, the escalation, the using of your loved ones, and finally the replacement, all of it is predictable. All of it follows a pattern. And that pattern has nothing to do with who you are. It has everything to do with who they are. You cannot fix what you did not break. There is a particular cruelty in reaching this place in life, in your 60s or 70s, and realizing that so much of your energy went into a relationship that was never what it appeared to be. I am not going to pretend that does not hurt. It does. Deeply. And your grief is real and valid and deserves to be honored, not rushed past. But here is what else is true: you still have time. You have time to build friendships that nourish you. You have time to reconnect with the parts of yourself that were quietly set aside. You have time to wake up in the morning and feel like the day belongs to you, not to managing someone else's moods, or walking on eggshells, or explaining yourself to someone who will never truly hear you. Your silence was not the end of your story. It was the first sentence of a new one. And you, of all people, know how to write a story worth living. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not too old to heal, or to hope, or to be genuinely, deeply at peace. I believe that with everything I have. Before I go, I would love to hear from you. Not just because it helps this video reach more women who need it, but because your voice matters. Your experience matters. And sometimes the most healing thing we can do is simply say out loud, I choose myself now. So if this video spoke to something real in your life, if you are in the middle of this journey, or if you have made it through to the other side, I want you to type in the comments below, right now, I am reclaiming my peace. If you want more conversations like this one, honest, grounded, and written with women like you in mind, please subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss a new video. And share this with a woman in your life who might need to hear it today. Take good care of yourself. You have earned it,